Hello.
Yep. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. How's it going, dude?
It's going all right.
All right, cool. What are we going over today?
Uh, so I wasn't entirely sure what would be the best use of the lesson. I have like two points of view on this. The first is like, so I kind of took like a more or less most of last year. I was not like practicing melee like at all really. I just like play on rank, and then I like started playing more toward the end of the year, and then like basically every tournament, like half my sets would just be like spacies,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd go like 2-2, but like every time like I'd bring like Curve or like whoever I'm playing like winners round two like to game three, and so I feel like really good about like the Fox matchup,
Mm-hmm.
and I think like if I got a little bit better at it, like that's like I kind of hit like the next level, and then
Mm-hmm.
on the other hand, I feel like completely lost in the Sheik matchup and like not great about the Falco deck.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
like Sheik is maybe like 5% of sets I play.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, maybe I just ignore Sheik.
Okay. Yeah, let's start. So you said you're the most confused against Sheik, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't we start with one of those and take a look at that, and then we can switch to a different character uh, at any point you want.
Okay.
Okay, let me get the screen share working. Okay, screen share is working, right?
Yeah, yeah, I can see
Okay,
it.
great. Okay, so what's been happening to you against Sheik, or how does it feel?
It kind of feels I don't know if you remember, but I think like at some point we did a lesson about Peach, and it feels kind of similar where
Mm-hmm.
like scrapping with Sheik just feels like bad for me. Like I don't know if it's like actually just bad for Falco, but it feels like Shine's always just a little bit too small. Like my like aerialing in a scrap feels like really slow. Like
Mm.
she jumps really high and like dashes really low, so it's hard to hit her with lasers. It's
Mm-hmm.
like yeah, basically I just don't know like where to be against Sheik to like play. Like I think if I can get her to a point where like aerials can at least knock down, I don't feel like terrible. But like especially low percent Sheik.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I have like a thing where like against most characters, you really don't want to interact at zero. I usually try to get people with 3 or 4 lasers before I start like a stock. Just because down air at like 10% is way better than down air at like zero. Um, okay, but anyway, let's take a look and see what happens, and then we'll talk about it. Okay. So it looks like pretty stalematey. Was this an accident? This roll?
Uh, you it might not have been, I think.
I just don't understand really what it was doing. But yeah, you weren't in any danger here. Like just dash back and keep playing here. You were fine. But you ended up in a little bit of a negative position here. Um, I would say just dash away here. Sheik actually has like a really hard time forcing things to happen against Falco. A lot of times she ends up in positions like this where maybe she has like a slight advantage where maybe Falco could like wave dash in, ASDI down and grab or something like that. But it's like a little bit difficult from the Falco end, and the Sheik has just this really nice, easy, long back air right here. But
Yeah.
if you just like back up a little bit, she just can't do anything. And if you CC it, like you might take the damage, but that's it. And that should be like your worst case. There's not really a reason to like interact with stuff like this pretty much ever. So yeah, you dash back, and Sheik just doesn't have anything. And you get this laser, and then you got to pay a lot of attention to how, because Sheik has this really big short hop, right? And so she's
Yeah.
gonna be trying to short hop over a lot of your lasers. And so if you ever short hop, or sorry, if you ever laser and you see her short hop over, you just want to like extra verify that she's not gonna try to like come in and hit you. And if she is, you can just like it's just it feels strange because her back air is really long, but right here, if you just move to like right here, the back it's just like worthless. Like she just has very like her drift is not big. So even though her moves are really big, once she's jumped, she actually can't go very far at all. So once you've like done this and she's in this spot, if you just like right here dash to this spot in the corner or whatever, you're just literally like, look at how far the back air goes. It seems like she had all this range, but it only really goes to here.
Okay, yeah.
You actually had a lot of space in the corner to like move around. It's disorienting because it feels like her leg is so big. Like if she was Falco and Falco or Fox did this little backflip here, it would feel and they had this long leg, you would have to be really scared here, or like Marth. But she just doesn't have that amount of drift. So whenever she goes up, you can actually pretty cleanly be like, oh, okay, like that's exactly her location. Even if she holds full forward or full back, it doesn't change that much. Like especially when she's already committed. Like if she does like forward short hop versus backward short hop, obviously those are like pretty different in where she can land. But once she's already committed to some sort of drift like this is just the absolute maximum range that she can hit. She can't even drift further than this. And then you can just come back in immediately with like a pressure after that. So realizing how limited Sheik is in her movement options is really important. So like right here, this is just a good example of when she jumps right here and you're here, it seems like you do this little dash back. It's almost like you don't really realize how limited she is in this spot. Like she's extremely like she literally can't do anything here. If she double jump fairs here, she literally can't even like hit you. Like so you can just super comfortably like drop right here and she actually can't. Like she just doesn't have moves that'll hit you there. So getting comfortable, you know, kind of like how you want a space right outside of like Marth Nair and then kind of move in.
Yeah.
You basically can do that to Sheik, except it's like 50 times easier. Because she doesn't have good drift. And especially if you laser her in the air, like Marth does that thing where he kind of gets hit by the laser and he has a very slow, like... He has a very slow vertical acceleration and he can kind of like hover at you with like his fair after a laser or something like that. Sheik doesn't have that like at all. If you hit her, she is super stuck to like fall in place basically with like anything she does. And so like avoiding her and understanding that she just doesn't have that much mobility is really really important. Okay, I like this light shield a lot. If you ever get stuck above Sheik and behind her, she is gonna back air because as Sheik you're back air at like an angle where Falco is like above you like from here or whatever. Falco doesn't have any moves that'll beat it. Her back air will go straight through your nair, straight through your down air, and stuff like that. So she doesn't really have a reason not to do it, but it also doesn't like pressure you very hard. So you can just shield it, and you're just totally fine, and you just leave, and that's super good.
Yeah, I just realized like I love light shield on platforms. Like you just don't get poked, and like most people can't really like.
Yeah, Sheik just doesn't really have good pressure in that spot, so you're totally fine. Okay, so this is one of the most common things that Sheik will do. And it's when you hit her shield, she'll immediately wave dash out and then go in and try to grab. So basically, when you land an aerial on Sheik's shield and you get a shine, you basically never want to short hop out of that shine unless you think she's going to shield grab. Because if you short hop out of the shine, a lot of times she'll either get short hop nair out of shield, which is just solid damage, or it can hurt you at later percents. Or she's going to go for this wave dash out grab gamble that they love so much. And so a good way to avoid it is to just after every shine, just wave dash in like a direction. It just throws off this whole like positional read thing she does.
Okay, because I think I tried messing around in Uncle Punch with like Sheik's out of shield options a little bit, like just the like shield pressure.
Mm-hmm.
it seemed, well, I guess it's like always frame perfectly grabbing, so it's like maybe not realistic, but it seemed really hard to get a wave dash, and I was like wondering like, do I just like I think I've seen Magi like spam double shine a lot.
It seems really what to do what? To get a wave dash?
It's
What do you mean?
yeah, it seems hard to get away with the wave dash if they like to grab. Like
Well, so, hmm, like, are you talking about like hitting the nair on their shield and then wave dashing back?
just both back and forward. Like if I land in front of Sheik with a load near shine, like it feels like I need to either have just like a very like conveniently like spaced shine
Mm-hmm.
and a good wave dash angle and like, fast everything to like reliably get out of grab. Like it feels like I can't consistently like if
Okay.
the Sheik is
Yeah, yeah,
perfectly
yeah.
done.
Okay, so when Sheik stays in shield, you have a few options. Usually, Shine Grab is like super OP. Like it's really, really strong against Sheik. Mostly because up throw and back throw both put her in like disadvantaged states, and honestly down throw too, and forward throw at higher percents. Like all of your throws put her in like awkward positions that give you like a pretty big positional advantage. So I think like Shine Grab is really good. And if she's a Sheik that will literally like if Sheik is shield grabbing after Nair Shine, then you're just gonna get stuff like Nair double shine. And she'll get beat up for that. So if she's kind of staying in place, I just sort of spam the double shine and shine grab and maybe double shine grab, that type of thing. And I'll usually just destroy Sheiks that are sort of shield grabbing or doing anything like that. Uh, but then after you do that, they will start like at a higher level. That most Sheiks will do this type of thing where they wave dash out, and that's why it's so strong to do something like right here, like Nair. Well, the Nair was a little early, so it made it hard. But if
Yeah.
the Nair was like a little later, you could do something like Shine, Wave Dash, Back, Shine, and then it'll catch Sheik for doing this whole thing. Fox does it a lot too. Just sort of wave shining around in random directions is surprisingly difficult for Sheik to deal with. Uh,
Yeah, I'll if I notice someone's like wave dashing out of shield, I think I'll try that then.
it's mostly just the main point is that when you land with a shine, you don't want to get caught in like this vertical range. Like short hop aerial out of shield and short hop aerial out of shine are just not that great against Sheik because boost grab is so good against them. That was the main point I'm trying to make. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, you're getting caught in this spot again. Covering the inner edge of the platform is really important here. Like, you can just sit here. Like, when Sheik comes down like this, boom, boom, right here, you can literally just, like, wait here and up tilt. There's no reason to, like, dash into the corner and, like, laser here. Like, it's not going to earn you anything. But up tilt will, if she falls here with, like, a nair or something, the up tilt will just straight up beat it. And your goal is basically you don't want her to like you don't want to be in the corner and have her doing this run off back air to you. It's just putting yourself in like a bad position.
Yeah, I think I'm just like not aware enough of like where Sheik can't, like where Sheik isn't like as good as like a Spacey. Like I
Mm-hmm.
think it was just that spot just like read as like, oh, this is like a Fox or a Falco who can run off the platform and hurt me.
Yeah, so Sheik just is really, really, really bad at coming down. If you're on the ground beneath Sheik and she's coming down, you can just up tilt. It'll just beat all of her stuff. Short hop up air beats all of her stuff too. Like it just
Okay.
literally will go through every move she has. Like actually. So like and you need to make it feel that way. And her coming down off the platform is also not very strong. It's kind of like Peach, except with no float. Where like if she shield drops, a lot of times she doesn't accelerate quickly enough to like get to you. So you can just like up tilt every now and then or stuff like that. And she doesn't really have like a great answer to it. Like she can't be on the platform, see you up tilt and be like, "Ha, I'll just hit him." Like that doesn't exist. She falls too slow. So I think when Sheik is above you, recognize that you have like an advantage position. She doesn't have a spacey down air. Her down air is like one of her worst moves. Like she doesn't have a way to like come down from the plat and get you. Like she pretty much is just like, I have nair, fair, and back air, and none of those moves hit super far down. This is what I was talking about with this, like, where she's really looking for this. Where if you do this and then she wants to move out and do this type of thing, you just gotta watch out for the in place type jumps, because that's what they're always looking for. Actually, wait a minute, I'm stealing this side B. I've never done this. This is so smart, because you get the low landing lag. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, that was genius. I'm taking that.
I didn't even do it for the landing leg. It was just like she's not getting to me.
No, I know. But just seeing it happen, I'm like, wait a minute. That's actually really useful. I've just never really considered it that if I side B from that height when she commits here, that I'll have low landing lag on the platform. It's kind of nice. Okay, I like the down air forward smash. That's really good.
I also really suck at edge guarding.
Edge guarding her?
Yeah, like I don't know, as Fox, it feels like it's free. But like, I don't know. Like, you can't. I don't even if I didn't do the slug get up from ledge here. Like, I don't know what I do to like reasonably like threaten to kill.
Okay, there's a bunch of options. So obviously, like below 100, you can just regular get up from the edge a lot of times. And I like to do shine out of it, like walk shine. You can also do an up tilt, or shine back air. On a situation like this where you really don't want to, like this, where you boom, 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 and you grab the edge. So one thing you can do is you can start the get up really early because you're over 100. So you could have just grabbed edge and started the regular get up, and you'd get her. The way to think of the edge guard as Falco is not, oh, I've got Sheik off stage, and then when she gets, like, you don't want to think of it as like, because the way it works with Fox is that you get a bunch of damage on Sheik, you get her to like 80, whatever. You make her recover one time, you regular get up and do shine, shine, up smash. And that's her stock. Falco doesn't get to finish Sheik off that easily. What you want to think of it as is you want to think of it as just this combo that keeps going. That, like, it's kind of like, have you ever edgeguarded Falcon as Fox? Where there's spots where you kind of just want to back air him like 80 times. Where you like back air, and then he up B's back, and you back air, and you up B's back, and you back air. And there's not really like a position where you just have like this outright kill. That's kind of how this works. Where when Sheik recovers, you're not, like right here, you shouldn't be thinking, how do I kill Sheik out of this edge guard? You should just be thinking like, okay, how do I keep it going? And so right here, this, like, you can ledge dash here or whatever, or get up early. But basically, you're let's assume you're actionable on the ground when she gets here. Like, you kind of made it anyway, but you're just slightly slow. But let's say you get this shine. If she DIs this way and you wave dash this way, you'll get a down air, which leads into another edge guard. If she DIs the shine away, you get full hop back air or full hop down air onto a platform, which will either continue the combo or lead into an edge guard again. And you can just literally repeat that process until you find some form of an edge guard that kills her, like get up down tilt or get up forward smash or an early back, like, you know, she's falling here and you jump out and you back air her, stuff like that. Like, eventually you'll get a good edge guard. But the important thing is to just keep making her recover over and over, rather than being so focused on, like, Falco just can't kill out of this shine like Fox can. It's like, well, he doesn't need to. He just takes a little bit longer hitting her off and then edge guarding her again.
I'm unironically thinking of just playing Fox in this matchup just because that exact situation makes me feel like if I'm in the situation as Fox, even if, you know, my Fox is like worse than my Falco, like, that's half the work, you know? Like, is that worth doing, or is that like, should I just like, or do you think like Falco's other advantages are like good enough that
I think Falco destroys Sheik. It's just slightly more work. It's kind of like the Falco versus Puff thing, where it's like, yeah, I think Falco beats Puff maybe worse than Fox does, but is it as easy and straightforward against bad players? No. And it's like, yeah, Fox can kind of edgeguard Sheik the same way forever, but he gets edgeguarded easier, and his neutral game against her is worse and stuff like that. Um, it's all like trade-offs. If all you want out of the game is that when you hit Sheik off with a back air, you have a really easy edge guard with, or like not even really easy, because the Falco edge guard on Sheik is mad easy. It's just like if you want it to be like a low number of button inputs, then you can switch to Fox. But I don't think that's like a reason to really think about switching matchups unless your goal is to literally put as little effort in the game as possible. If that is the case, then Fox is definitely the choice against Sheik at low level because he's much easier to play against Sheik. But I don't think that it's like this. Like, okay, so like if I hit Sheik off and I kill her every time, but it takes me 3 more edge guards that are guaranteed, that doesn't really make the matchup worse for Falco. It just kind of depends on like what you want. So like, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I guess it just like doesn't feel guaranteed the way like it feel like at some point it feels like even like like personal like error aside, like I feel like there's situations where like it doesn't feel like I can always get her off in a way that I can like keep repeating it. Like it doesn't, okay, like Falcon feels like where you're just like, oh, like sometimes you'll just have to back her and let the bunch of guys.
No, I mean,
Sometimes
I'll agree that sometimes she can read the exact option you're going to do off the ledge with perfect DI, and it gives her a little bit of a mix-up on her recovery. That is true. Like, Falco's edgeguard is not as good as Fox's against Sheik because he doesn't get the super free wave shine thing. That's true. But it's not like it suddenly makes Falco lose the matchup, It's just that the edge guard is not quite as simple. I mean, if you really want to do that, why not just play Puff? If you back throw Sheik off and she recovers, you can just rest her.
Yeah, I mean, I don't enjoy playing tough, so I don't think I'll ever do that. But
What was that? Sorry.
I just, I think like Fox is the only level of like I'm still having fun playing the game,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like easy, like it's the only compromise I think. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think you should worry about it too much. Like, I think, like, if you're in this spot, and let's say she goes here, and you double jump up here, and you back air, and she survival DIs, and she's, like, out here, and then you laser, so it forces her to go low, and then you grab the edge, and you refresh, and she up B's onto the stage, and you get up, and you walking shine, you wave shine, you back air off, and she double jumps, and she up B's to the stage again, you get up, and you walking shine, and you back air off again, and then she comes up here, and she up B's again, you do a regular get up, and you down tilt. Like, I don't know, it just doesn't seem that bad to me. It's kind of fun. Like, with Fox, it's kind of boring. Like, you hit her off, you get the wave shine up smash, whatever. With Falco, you have a lot of ways that you can mess with her here. But obviously it's not as good as Fox. We can continue from there. Like that's like just kind of the way you got to edgeguard her as Falco. If you'd rather play Fox in the matchup, like that's not a crime. I just think that it's not like the way you're playing Falco in the matchup is not the way that's the most effective against her. So it's like, okay, wait, here's a good example. The issue, okay, yeah. So ignore what I was saying a second ago. Let's just skip to this. So you do this, you do the walking shine, and you wave dash. The issue is you jump too early here. Jump a little bit.
You jump a little later.
Yeah, you need to dash a little bit later because the problem is you want your full hop back here to be able to hit this, and it's just not like it's just a little bit. She's just a little bit too far. You just gotta dash a little bit further before you hit her with this. But the down air was fine there. Yeah, and you killed her anyway. And like, yeah, this is how Falco's edgeguard pretty much works on Sheik. Is like, ignoring this, it's like, oh, you hit her off. But boom, she's at 114. It's like, yeah, do I get a free up smash? No, but she dies. Like, almost every time. Yeah, so I think the biggest thing that I'm noticing here is that I think you're underrating how good Falco is at locking Sheik down. Like you shoot like one laser here. She's at 2%. You shoot one more, and you decide to go in. And there's not really a reason to go in yet. Your goal is to get her to a little bit higher percent with lasers here. And if not, even if you weren't trying to get her to a higher percent, you want to be moving around and getting lasers. For, what if you did a dashback laser here and it caught her out of this fair? Then maybe it's a good time to jump in a nair. But if you're in a spot where she hasn't committed anything, just jumping in to attack doesn't really have like a ton of value. So I think like using your lasers to like be a little bit more observational on Sheik, I think would be really important. It's fine, like once you have a read on the Sheik, to go for stuff like this where you're just like laser attack, because maybe you have a read on the fact that the Sheik is gonna do like take laser F tilt or something like that. Those are fine, but it does open you up to risk. And so the majority of the time, maybe if you do right here and you do laser, and then you do dash back laser again, and you see that Sheik does walk forward tilt, then maybe you can record that information for later. And then use it against her later. She's in a similar spot. You do wave dash, or you do laser, and then you bait the forward tilt, and then you hit her. A lot of this matchup is just getting the combo of like the shine, and then you just do like shine downer, like up tilt, and you just kind of keep her in the air, like up airs, whatever, and then you get the back airs, get her to like 80, 90, she has to recover, and then you do like the edge guarding loop, basically. But it looks like you're kind of just doing like laser and then approaching, and I think that type of style can be very effective against Sheik, and it's also kind of cathartic when it works. I've definitely felt that. But it's kind of like a mode that you only want to release onto the Sheik once you know exactly how they're playing, so you can be a little bit more confident about it. You definitely want to like start from a little bit of a safer end against each Sheik, and get really used to like sort of laser camping them. She doesn't have a good method of approaching on lasers, like at all. She doesn't, like, the reason Marth is kind of good at approaching on lasers is, first of all, he has a really long sword, and second of all, he can like drift really far on his jump. Sheik cannot. So as long as you're locking her down on the ground, she doesn't have any way to get to you, like, at all. I like the back air.
Yeah, like I do stuff like that just because I'm like bad at like dealing with, punishing her up B landing. I'm just like, if I can just get a call out earlier.
I mean, the call outs are pretty good too. I like the call out when I said early percent, like 60 or something, because I might get a kill out of it. Okay, yeah. Bam. Okay, this was all really good. Great stock. Go up here, shine. Okay, and you just missed your tech chase. Like, this is you do not have to read this at all. This is 100%. Okay, so first of all, I don't really like this down air that much. So first of all, right here, maybe it's not the perfect choice. Right here, I don't know if this is perfectly optimal or not. I would do shine double jump wavelength at the top plat here. And if she goes up, I'd probably get like a short hop nair off the top plat. Something like that. But that's just like a minor combo root issue. You end up here. I probably wouldn't want to down air Sheik here, because if she didn't tech this, she would slide off the side plat. I would probably just go for like a nair here.
I think that's why I down switched. I was like, seems like a very, like, messy. Well, I guess it was late, but yeah, I just guessed that, like, it's possible he slides off or like doesn't even land on the
platform. That makes sense. No, that happens. Yeah, right there, just back air. If you ever end up in these situations, I think people sort of try to get too long of a combo on Sheik. If you just back air her off, she does not have a good disadvantage state. Like, I feel like basically there's like a disconnect, and this actually, the reason I know I might seem like I'm getting a little heated about this. It's because I basically went through this exact process when I switched from Fox to Falco, where I felt super annoyed at Falco's edge guard on Sheik. So I just super feel where you're coming from on that. And so it's like, brings up these memories where it's like, no, you gotta realize that if you back air Sheik off and she does her like recovery onto the stage, even though you don't have a Fox auto kill up smash, it's still literally like a shield break. Like, you can do anything you want. So like hitting her off stage is really good. You don't need people. I just remember getting into this idea when I first started playing against Sheik as Falco that I needed to like down air her onto the stage and like tech chase her and combo her into a percent where I could like forward smash kill. Because I didn't have this Fox up smash edge guard. But it's not about that. You can just make her recover and then hit her again and make her recover and then hit her again. So make sure to just prioritize back air there. Down airing Sheik onto the platforms is good, but if you're at a high enough percent where you're just going to actually hit her way off stage, then you should definitely do it. And yeah, this is... Remember, you do not have to do laser approach. There's no law that says you have to do laser approach here. Sheik cannot punish you for doing this if you just do like laser dash dance. Unless she hard reads you with a dash attack, she can't really get in. She just doesn't have a lot of options. And I feel like you feel kind of like a pressure to like go immediately in on Sheik. There's never a moment where you're kind of like trying to bait her. Just laser, dash dance, laser, dash dance. I just want you to try that out. Just like laser dash dance a Sheik over and over and see what they really have. See what they really can do to actually get in on you.
Yeah, I think I just kind of like part of why I don't really try to bait Sheik very much is it feels like it's like fighting a Peach where like it feels like whiff punishing is like not really an option, or like you have to like guess what they're doing to like.
No, I super get you on that. I do understand. It's what's the best way to describe it? It's kind of like it's not that you want to whiff punish. It's that you're looking for a good position. For example, against Peach, you know how there's like the low laser, high laser, where you low laser and it hits her shield, and then she tries to full hop out to float, but the high laser catches her.
Yeah.
And then you can get like high lasered in air or something like that. Like that is not a whiff punish, but you got it by waiting and shooting lasers. And it's very similar against Sheik. You're not using the lasers to try to force a whiff punish. You're trying to use the lasers to create a good position. And so like maybe you do something, you do a laser and Sheik F tilts, and it's like you're not really in a position to like whiff punish that, but now that you see her F tilting, you have a lot of time to position your next laser, which maybe after your next laser she short hops and then you catch her, or after your next laser she shields a laser, which limits her even more, you know, or maybe she does take laser, walk forward F tilt, take laser, walk forward F tilt, and then you do laser a third time, and then you make a read on the down air, and maybe you try to cross it up so that if she shield grabs afterward, you're not going to get hit. Something like that. You want to use the lasers to try to stack the odds in your favor. But it was a really good point to bring up. It's not about the whiff punishing. You want to find positions where you have an advantage. And those will come up. Like, the more lasers you shoot, good positions will arise.
Yeah, I think I kind of get that. Like, that's kind of like, yeah, I feel like the Fox matchup is kind of like that, or you're...
Yeah, it's kind of like that, too. Where it's like, oh, man, are you going to, like, punish his nairs? And you're like, no. But then, like, 1 out of every 10 nairs, your laser is just right. And then when he tries to nair you, you have, like, an easy up tilt on his nair or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's super similar. I actually see this matchup in a lot of ways as kind of like a really easy Falco Fox. And it doesn't super line up in every way, but like kind of seeing it like that, where I'm just like short hop double laser in place is really strong against Sheik, and it's not that strong against a lot of the other top tiers. It's mostly Fox and Sheik. So I use that a lot just because she struggles to get in on the ground. She doesn't have a big wave dash, and she doesn't have a super good dash. And she doesn't have, like, a lot of range, and she can't, like, jump, drift in. She just doesn't have, like, a lot of ways to force her way in. A lot of times her best, like, here I come, I'm gonna force my way in, is, like, power shield, wave dash, and F-tilt, you know? And if you just shield or crouch or dash back, it beats all of those, destroy that. So she just doesn't have a lot of good ways to get in. And so, like, she's just... in a lot of ways, she is like Peach, where she's just, like, this moving fortress, and she just moves a little bit... She's just not quite as, like, buff as Peach. She's not as good at the whole moving fortress thing. She's just sort of bad at approaching. And so, like, when you're here and she jumps over this laser, don't see this as like, oh, should I approach? Like, yeah, there are spots where you can approach here, but like, you're not, you're at a percent where fair might actually kill you. So I probably wouldn't do it. Just know she can't move past this range at all. You're well within your right to just literally shoot another laser right here and probably catch her landing. But because you jumped in, it's like, look at this. If you had just stayed in place and done nothing, this fair wouldn't have even hit you, I'm pretty sure. Like, if you were right here... Okay, so let's see. This is the front of Falco. About right here on the platform. And then, yeah, look at that. You would have still been right here when the fair hit. It doesn't even hit. Like, this fair she threw out is literally nothing. Like, it's just an empty fair that would have easily lost to another laser grab here, or laser jab, or a backflip back air, or dash dance dash attack. Like, all those things just straight up beat this. But if you jump in, you just kind of give it to her.
Yeah, that's great. Like I could have maybe even just sat there and like down tilted. She might have just
Yeah, no. Like, when she's in the air, dude, she can't do squat. Like, she's so bad. Like, she just gets super caught up in the air. And when she's on the ground, your down air actually goes through, like, all of her moves. And then that leads into a shine where now she's caught up in the air. Yeah, look at this again. It's just... I have sort of a rule against Sheik, and it's not a hard rule. And as I've gotten better and better at the matchup, I've realized that it's not even really a rule. But for where you're at, I think it'll be really helpful, because it was really helpful for me when I was learning this matchup. And it's don't approaching laser Sheik. Just don't do it. It'll just help.
Yeah,
because,
I think
yeah.
I feel like I eat so many F tilts for trying to do that.
You what?
Like I probably get F tilted like specifically like more often than laser pays off. I get F tilted. Trying to, like,
well, you get F tilted, and a lot of times this happens. Sheik is in shield. She's in not a great spot. And you're lasering her shield, like, this is horrible for her, right? Like, her shield's getting smaller, but she just does this, like, panic, like, short hop nair out of shield, or full hop nair out of shield, and it's like, if you hadn't gone in, this is the freest, like, run underneath, up tilt, or short hop up air, or CC shine, or literally anything you could possibly want. This is like a free opening that would potentially win you the game, because she's stuck in the air, she can't CC, she can't shield, anything. But because you jumped in, it lets her get away with all this garbage. And I think when she gets in close like this, I definitely think that your biggest issue in this matchup is a lack of an understanding of what Sheik is capable of. I think, and you mentioned this yourself earlier, but I'm just seeing it more and more every interaction, that, like, when Sheik moves, you actually see, like every time somebody, like, jumps or moves forward, our brains will generate, like, a future simulation or, like, a projection of what they might be able to do. And when Sheik does anything, your brain just imagines all of her moves as, like, 50 times bigger and, like, stronger and more powerful than they are. Like right here, this is just a free opening. Like, you can just smack her. You can just beat her up, and it's like, why'd she jump like that? That's silly. Easy W. Like, just like, oh, there she is. She's like, she jumps like this. Wow, why is she charging those needles? Like, laser, go in. She's stuck in the air. And then it's like, you're here, and she just does this up air. That's a free shine, but you're kind of, like, stuck in this whole, like, I don't know, Sheik's scary. It's like, no, she's not. Falco's scary. Like, Falco's way scary. She does it again. Like, Falco's way scarier for Sheik than Sheik is for Falco. I promise. That's how it feels for me, at least. It feels so scary as Sheik. Okay, this was good. And eventually, even though I feel like you weren't taking advantage of a lot of the positions, also remember, don't do this. Like, don't shine and then aerial out pretty much ever. Like this. She loves these. A good Sheik would have just grabbed you here. But those approaching lasers, I just told you not to approaching laser. But basically, when you laser more, good situations happen, even though I don't think you should do this many approaching lasers. Yeah, you're a little bit too set on, like, going in. Whereas, like, you can kind of just keep Sheik out. Yeah, you're just running into their bad moves. That's pretty much all that's happened. And then she gets kind of an easy combo game. Okay. Lasers. Boom. Okay, it worked at least. And then, okay, she just gets the read. Oops. Scary. Okay, this is all just like last stock. Oh, the dash attack.
Yeah, it was kind of a Hail Mary dash.
Yeah, like I think basically from watching your perspective, and this is kind of mirroring what I was saying before, but it feels like when like you have a strong position on Sheik, you don't fully understand it, or you don't fully like grasp that it is a strong position. And so whenever you get strong positions that aren't approaching laser into something, you have a tendency to like she just jumps and she's in a bad spot right over you, and you have a tendency to reset those positions, which isn't horrible, but you know you're missing out on potential openings. And then when you have a disadvantaged state, you have a tendency to just like laser approaching aerial, rather than like making her really like push in for it. It's kind of like, you know, like if you're in a negative position, you're like a little like shrew in its burrow or something, and there's a snake trying to get you, and like you kind of just run outside trying to bite the snake or something. You're gonna die. When you're in a negative position and you're being hunted by Sheik, you just want to kind of turtle up and make it really hard for her to get in. She doesn't have strong aggressive options. She doesn't have multi-hit aerials. She has a lot of trouble repositioning in the air. Like she can't do like an aerial and then decide at the last second to drift away or whatever. She doesn't have any of those options. So it's like when you have a disadvantage, don't just panic and give it to her. Make her work for it. Play the defensive game in those positions, and then when you have an advantage, it's okay to push it. Her scrapping is nothing like Peach's. It's not nearly as good. Falco wins so many scraps against Sheik. It's kind of insane. Just because down air beats so much, and she has to shield a lot, and she can get grabbed a lot, and if she gets caught in the air, like it's like if she's on the ground, she's eventually going to get grabbed, or she's going to get shield pressured, or she's going to get down aired, and then as soon as she jumps, she gets stuck in the air. And that's kind of like how it should feel.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, if I'm maybe I just need to look more closely at like situations and see like that she's not like as comfortable as that. Like,
Man, I would just play Sheik against some Falcos, honestly. Like, I think that'll be crazy eye-opening. Even if your Sheik is not good, that might even help more.
I've been doing that a little bit actually, but if anything, it pushed me in the other direction. Like I was just like, oh, I can just do whatever I want. But
No
I've just
way.
also not been playing.
Where are you finding these Falcos? Every
I'm
Falco.
just hopping on unranked, and it just like I can just kind of back air for free, and I don't know, but yeah, maybe I'm just not.
Like every
Playing
Falco I play on ranked is just some monster against Sheik. Like they all just zero death me out of combos. I feel helpless when I'm recovering. I get stuck in the air and I get up tilted and up aired over and over. Like it's rough. So
Maybe it's unranked versus ranked, and like maybe people aren't like taking it as seriously. I don't know.
yeah, and I do think very, very obviously at low level Sheik destroys Falco. I don't think Falco has any hope until he can like basically until Falco can kind of zone out Sheik with the lasers, I don't think that Falco has like a hope against Sheik. And until he can combo and edge guard, because until that point it's like Falco just lands on Sheik's shield and does down air shine. You just wave dash out and grab his aerial, and then they jump up and they try to hit you from the side, and you just back air them, and you jump over the laser and you just back air them. But then when the Falco can space around, jump over the laser back air, and jump over laser back air stops working at all, and you realize that jump over laser back air just gets you lasered again into a disadvantaged state, and you realize that like every time you're in the air, you don't have any drift, and you're going to end up like air dodging to get down to the platforms. And then you realize that when you're off stage, they literally do not care and will just edge guard loop you over and over until you die. It gets harder. It gets hard really fast. So it's interesting that playing Sheik has like you're just playing. You just ran into Falcos that are just giving it to you. I can understand how that would change perception, though. It's important to just not get caught up in it. I'm not really sure the best way then to get a better handle on Sheik's limitations outside of maybe just laser camping them and seeing how they actually do get in on you. Because
Yeah, I think
it is
I tried
just so difficult for her to get in. It's
I
crazy.
tried that against the Sheik, like on unranked, and he just didn't stayed on platform the whole time, and I was just like, okay, I got him to 40. I'm just
Okay, yeah,
I,
it's good, right?
I
like,
guess that's an option too.
like they can't approach you, so that's sick. Uh,
Yeah.
what do you mean? Or like, what's the yeah? Like, explain your
Yeah,
thoughts
no,
more.
I'm just not. I don't know. It's not like fun to just like sit there. Like I get, yeah, it works, but okay. So it felt like I was just wasting time by doing that. Like after a certain point, it felt like I was doing the like like good. I was playing it like correctly. If like the Sheik's not gonna approach me, I could just tack on damage forever. But I feel like I don't know. It just didn't feel like I don't know. It didn't feel like good to play that game. Like it did. I don't know if like the Sheik deciding not to interact with me was like, or like I don't know. Like I feel like it wasn't really like it was more just like he thought I was lame, so he didn't want to approach, and then I was just lasering him because he wasn't like changing anything, and then just
Mm-hmm.
playing like a 2 minute stalemate wasn't like I don't even know if that was like we were playing the game or someone was just like mad and protesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So some like a way that I like to think of it is like if you okay, so let's say there's you and your opponent, and your defense is so good that they can never approach. Let's just say that. Okay. Um, who approaches during that match? You decide. You get to approach if you want, but you don't have to. And they can't approach you. So therefore, you have control of the match. Like, the important part is saying, Sheik, if you want to get in on me, you literally can't. And Sheik will go, okay, I guess I can't get in. And then you have 8 minutes to figure out a way to get in on her. You have as much time as you could possibly want because you've already convinced her that she can't get in on you. You can laser from the platform. You can short hop approaching laser off the side plat and then like up tilt underneath the platform. You can up air pressure. You can shine pressure. Eventually, her shield will get small. Eventually, she'll take laser damage. She'll be put in a bad position. So what does she do when she can't approach you and she can't stalemate? She'll just lose. So it's like I'm not like I understand the feeling that like you're lasering and then they just go to the side plat, but like what that means is you made it impossible for them to approach. So like you can try lasering on the side plat, you can approach from the top plat, you can do all kinds of things now that like because before basically in this video the issue is that Sheik is trying to approach you, and instead of keeping her out, you're just approaching into her at the same time. And so you're just like smashing moves against each other. Like, oh, my move comes out, and then Sheik moves come out, and then like chaos is the result. Where sometimes you hit her and you get a combo, and sometimes she hits you and she gets a combo. But that's not really like what you want. So like if you had a way to stop Sheik from approaching you, then when you approach Sheik, she's not gonna be approaching you at the same time. So you won't have this like I approach you and you approach me at the same time like collision. Because you've already proven to Sheik she can't come in, she's not gonna try to come in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Um okay, what are your thoughts on this? I've been sort of like moving around to a bunch of different areas about like what makes Falco do well against Sheik. But I'm curious more on what your thoughts are. Like I really want to get more in depth on like how you're taking this info and how you're thinking about the matchup as a result, or like what's changed or not changed or whatever.
Uh, okay, so I think I mean, yeah, my main takeaway is just I need to learn to like, quickly recognize when Sheik like can and can't hit me. Like I think that's just something I wasn't like paying enough attention to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think okay, it's hard for me to like remember specific. Like I
No, you're
think
good.
that like everything like most of it is like around that point that I've like taken away.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then just like I think I need to work on my like just edge guarding like combo like because I think probably like the reason it doesn't like I the reason I don't feel that the way you do right now when edge guarding is just like okay I never tried to just like tell myself oh yeah just back hair off and like repeat over and over again
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like that for some reason that didn't like feel
It's okay. You're definitely not alone in that one. That's like I think a lot of people, including me, have gone through that.
yeah so I think those are like the two big things and then like yeah and then just being patient when I'm you know
Mm-hmm.
disadvantaged and not trying
Okay,
to
yeah.
fight him.
One big takeaway I would like for you to have is that Sheik above you is basically 100% of the time a losing situation for Sheik. Like almost all the time. And so like if you're at a 45, obviously she kind of has like the needles and stuff like that. So she can maybe make it work. But if you are directly under Sheik, doesn't matter whether she's on a platform, doesn't matter she's where she is, what percent she is. If she's above you, she is in a bad position. That is just like a like 95+% true statement. So when she's not above you, you have very simple goals in the matchup of getting her above you, whether that is a shine or a grab or an up tilt or whatever. If you can get her above you, that's good. But the thing is, you being above her is not that bad. She kind of struggles to deal with Falco on the platforms. She can't really do anything to you, and she has a lot of issues dealing with like down airs and stuff like that from up high. Uh, Not something that you would want to necessarily like spam, but it's just not that big of a deal. If you're above her, it's pretty easy to get back down to the ground. But when she's above you, she gets really trapped. Uh, so yeah, I think tying this into like the repeated edge guard thing, the goal should be keep Sheik in a constantly negative position. Once you get her into the air above you into this negative position, you just want to maintain it infinitely. Up airs, up tilt, back air, whatever. Eventually, you'll just get her off stage, and then you get to. Sometimes you get the call out edge guard for the early back air, and I like doing that a lot. But a lot of times you have to do the slow one. You get the shine back air and the shine back air and the shine back air, and you kind of just keep doing it. And you don't really have to do it that many times. Because down tilt and forward smash kill at pretty decent percents. Uh, or just,
I thought I've
hmm?
looked I thought okay it feels like they kill like 30-40% later than Fox up smash like it's
Then what does?
than Fox
Yes,
like
Fox kills Sheik way earlier than Falco. Yeah. Up smash is broken.
yeah
That
it's the same way like it feels like I'm killing her literally like double the percents that Fox is killing her.
yeah, possibly. But what really matters is how many more neutral wins you had to get, and a lot of times it's not that many more, or if any, because she's in such a massively like you're like this character gets a 100-0, and then this character has to do like a 99-1 three times, and it's just not from the Sheik end. They both feel completely hopeless. Like they just hit you back off, and you're like, oh. Like that it's just yeah
Yeah.
I I've been like I said I've been through a similar feeling, and that's why I'm trying to think of a good way to talk about it. um
No, I mean I get what you're saying. Like
no, I know. I'm just saying I've been through the same thing. it's a lot better to just not compare yourself to Fox as Falco. Like everything as Fox is easier and kills at lower percent and is better and blah 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 blah. And then wait a minute, Fox doesn't have a laser and his range is worse and he doesn't have a good down air and his forward smash is weak and all this stuff. You know, like as a Fox man, you're like, man, I wish I had Falco's forward smash. That'd be kind of nice. And then you're edge guarding Captain Falcon, and you're like, man, it'd be really great if I could just down air him instead of like back air, back air, back air, back air, back air, back air. You know, and so it's like the grass is kind of always greener.
I feel like I don't feel. I feel like I don't think I've ever felt the grass is always greener, like while playing Fox in the middle of an edge guard, like ever. Maybe I'm not playing against the right people, but like,
Are you? Yeah, you might just be a Fox main, man. Like you're sounding like kind of Fox pilled.
I'm seriously considering like maining Fox in like just a handful of matchups just because of that. But like,
I mean,
I prefer Falco against like fast fallers.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's nothing wrong with playing a bunch of Fox to gain like perspective on it. To be honest, like, um, I if because like honestly, like if while because it my this is like a read a little bit, but it definitely based on what you're saying, it definitely feels like while you're playing the Sheik matchup as Falco, you have like feelings that like, man, Fox would have been able to kill there, stuff like that, and like that is really really bad. Like that is really bad for performance. It's not like a bad thought to have, but like it'll super hold your Falco back in the matchup if you're having thoughts like that.
I
So
was thinking,
hmm?
it doesn't. It's not like actually going through my head when I'm like in the middle of playing the game, but it's just like I can't like tell myself that's not true because I feel like that it's just actually how it is. It's like there are some matchups where I like can't like convince myself that like Falco is better than Fox is.
Mm-hmm. And I think that basically, if that is the case, you should play Fox in those matchups and see if it's true. And if it is, then just keep doing it. It's fine. Like I think believing in your character in a matchup is basically necessary for playing it. It's not like a moral failing to not believe in Falco in a matchup. But I do think that like doubting your character in a matchup like significantly just basically what I've heard from you during the lesson, it just makes me think like if I felt that way that like you were feeling, I would think it would be best for me to play a little bit of Fox in those matchups and just see if those feelings are fully correct or like see how it feels. Like maybe you play Fox against Sheik for like 3 months and the whole time you're just like, yes, this is what I wanted. Then it's like it doesn't really sound like you lost anything, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I might like actually do. I mean, I guess I don't want to like waste the whole lesson on Falco Sheik, but yeah,
But the thing is,
I might
I
explore.
don't think it's like a waste. Like I think like I gave you a bunch of directions to improve on in the matchup, um, and you know it's there for you if you want to explore the matchup more. But there's definitely no reason to like force yourself if you aren't enjoying it the way that you would enjoy Fox Sheep. Like I think you should just always move in the direction that you're having the most fun in. And I think that's like the most effective way to deal with like human brains basically is like not to force yourself into these areas in the game that you're like not enjoying. And sometimes it is just legitimately like a misunderstanding of the matchup and you're like, "Oh, Falco can do this here and can do this here." But like I don't know if it's not really if it's not what you want. Like okay, take for example Falco Marth. I actually really like Falco Marth. I think Falco wins, but I feel like it's so stressful for me to just get randomly up tilt up tilt up tilt up tilt tippered, and I get so annoyed that like for me personally, it's more fun to play it as Sheik and just kind of mindlessly spam on the Marths and be like ha 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 ha. And it's like maybe someday I like start enjoying it as Falco more, or some other Falco starts destroying all the Marths, which I think will eventually happen. And I'll be like, man, I really want to copy their stuff and play Falco Marth again. But for now, I'm just enjoying Sheik in the matchup more. So it's just like whatever you're enjoying more. I don't think it's I don't think there's any moral obligation to like basically stick with the character doing it. But I do think that Falco definitely beats Sheik, and if you put in a little effort on it, I think you would probably see what I was talking about if you follow the stuff we talked about during the lesson.
Yeah,
But it's
I
up
think
to
I'm
you.
gonna. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like yeah, I think it's like the Fox stuff is just like the things Fox is good at is just like very obvious. Like, and the things that Falco is good at in the matchup like were not obvious to me. So, I mean, I'll
Mm-hmm.
try out like the stuff you pointed out and see if like
Mm-hmm.
that makes a
And
difference.
it also just depends on like how obvious you want the things to be. Like I said, like for Falco Marth, the reasons Falco beats Marth are these like hyper precise lasers and spacings where Marth can't do anything or whatever. But if but like the reason Sheik beats Marth is like lol forward air, like lol forward tilt forward air needles and stuff like that and down throw forward air, and it's like sometimes if you want a simple solution, it's okay. It just depends on like your goals for the game. Like I enjoy the intricacy of Falco against Sheik because it only takes a little bit of the intricacy, in my opinion, to just start bodying her. But so it really just depends on like, do you want Sheik to be a simple matchup or not? And if you want it to be a simple matchup, you definitely want to play Fox. But if you want it to play Falco against Sheik, then you should do that. That's just my take on it. But we're definitely at an hour now. I would like you to update me on what you're like further. What happens in this situation further? Like, just let me know. Like, did you decide to play more Fox in it for a while? Like, did you try out some of the stuff we talked about and you were getting some better results in Falco Sheik? Like, I'm just kind of curious where you go from here.
Okay, yeah, I'll try to enter. I'm gonna go to like enter more stuff this year. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'll definitely like and ranked it out. So that's another avenue
Oh, and
to
if you
start.
have like a clip or something of you like trying to edgeguard Sheik as Falco maybe and like failing or something like that, you can send it to me. I'll help you out on it. No problem.
Okay, yeah, I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, I'll keep you posted. Like I'm still not at all decided on what I do, but I'll try both things out.
Okay. All right. Sounds good, man. It was good talking. I'll send you my payment info.
Okay,
All right.
cool.
Sounds good.
Sounds
Have
good. Thanks
have a
for the
good night.
lesson. All right, you
Peace.
too.